Congratulations. You are the 2023 Kia NBA MVP.
Here is an important moment from last season, Joel Embiid being presented the 2023 NBA MVP award after averaging an incredible 33-10 for an entire season. Despite winning the MVP award last season, Joel Embiid has upped his game and is having an even more incredible season and having an historic season that is not being talked about enough. So let's just jump right into it and talk about the historic season that Joel Embiid is having and why he will go back-to-back as MVP this season. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Joel Embiid is currently on a monster tear right now, scoring 30 or more points a game in the last 20 games, which is tied for the 6th longest streak in NBA history with Wilt Chamberlain, and is the 3rd player to have accomplished 30 points or more in 20 straight games, with the other two being James Harden in 2018-2019 and Wilt Chamberlain on several occasions. If Joel Embiid keeps playing like he is, there is a legitimate chance that he passes James Harden's 32 games of 30 points or more, but we will have to see what happens. But for right now, Joel Embiid sits at 20. And if he gets one more, he'll have the 5th longest streak of 30-point games or more. And over this 20-game stretch, he's dropped multiple 40-point games, 7 in total. He's dropped 2 separate 50-point games, one of which was on the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have one of the best records in the NBA and one of the best defenses in the NBA. And also during this insane streak of 30 points or more, he's had 2 additional streaks going that have since ended, but this 30-point per game streak has continued. The 2 other streaks were 30 points and 10 or more rebounds, which he did 16 times in a row, and then also 30 points and 10 rebounds or 10 assists, which he did for 17 straight games before he did not finish with a double-double. And his streak of 30 points or more and 10 or more rebounds puts him in exclusive company with Wilt and Kareem as the only players to have more than 15 consecutive 30-10 games. Joel Embiid has just been on an absolute tear and cannot be stopped, and is being put in more exclusive company with each passing game and is becoming more and more dominant as the season goes by. What really stands out about Joel Embiid's season is, if you look at his numbers from last year, 33.1 points, 10.2 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 1.7 blocks, and 1 steal a game. These are pretty impressive numbers, but what's even more impressive about these numbers is that from his MVP season to this year, his numbers have improved in every category. He's upped his points from 33.1 to 35 points per game, which this is the 11th season in NBA history for a player to average 35 or more. He's on pace to become the 7th player in NBA history to average 35. Few players did it like Kobe, James Harden, Wilt did it a number of times. As well as increasing his points average, he's upped his rebounds from 10.2 to 11.4. He's averaging a career-high 5.9 assists per game, a big jump from the 4.2 assists per game from his MVP season. He's upped his blocks from 1.7 to 1.9. He's upped his steals from 1 exactly to 1.2. Also, with him averaging 35 points, he's averaging more points than he is minutes per game. He averages 34.2 minutes per game, but 35 points per game, which hasn't been done since Wilt Chamberlain's 50-point season, where a player averaged more points than minutes. Wilt Chamberlain that season averaged 50 points in 48.5 minutes. Joel Embiid has just been on an historic tear and is just putting up insane video game-like numbers and is doing things that haven't been seen since Wilt Chamberlain or Kareem, or haven't been seen at all. He has just been on another level this season and just continues to get better and better. I'm not the biggest fan of advanced stats, but one thing that I will say is a good stat to look at for determining who will probably win MVP is player efficiency rating. If you look at the best player efficiency rating seasons, you have seasons like Joel Embiid's MVP season last year, where he had a PER of 31.4, which is the same PER that Steph Curry had during his unanimous MVP season. You have Jokic's last two MVPs, one of which he had set the record for the highest PER in a season. You have Russell Westbrook's MVP season, where he averaged a triple-double. And then out of the best PERs in a season, the highest PERs, there have been numerous MVPs crowned during those seasons. So it is a very accurate indicator of who's going to win MVP. Just off of the StatMuse graphic, over half of these seasons, a player was awarded the MVP award, and you can see just how high their PER was, and these are some of the highest in NBA history. But despite these being the highest, Joel Embiid this season is having the highest one ever in a season with 34.4. He currently has a decent lead over Jokic's former record of 32.9, which was an important reason behind Jokic getting that MVP that year, was that he was averaging a PER of 32.9 for the season, which was the NBA record and hadn't been done before. But as you can see this season, Embiid has a PER of 34.4, which has never been done before and is by far the highest PER in a season so far in NBA history. And a stat like that statistically wins a player MVP, just shows that Joel Embiid has been the best player in the league so far this season. Just to really put Joel Embiid's numbers into perspective, Joel Embiid is leading the league in scoring for the third straight year with 35 points per game, right? If he were to continue leading the league in scoring for the rest of the NBA season, he would become the 10th player in the league in NBA history to lead the league in scoring 3 times or more. And he would also become the 8th player to do it 3 years in a row. So as you can see, he's leading the league in scoring. He's tied for 5th in most rebounds per game with Giannis right now at 11.4 rebounds. So he's top 6 in rebounds. This one, you could say it's a bit of a stretch, but he's a center and he's tied for 22nd in assists per game with almost 6 assists per game. He has the second highest amount of assists for a center behind Jokic. Joel Embiid is also top 10 in the league in blocks per game with 1.9. Also, just real quick, shout out to Wemby for leading the league in blocks as a rookie with over 3 a game. I mean, I know he is like 9 feet tall, but still, that's pretty impressive. But Joel Embiid is averaging 1.9 blocks per game, which is good for 10th in the league, as well as 1.2 steals. And out of the top 10 in blocks per game, only 3 players average a steal or more, with Embiid being one of them. And out of the whole league, Joel Embiid is one of 8 players averaging at least a block and at least a steal. Just doing historic things and just doing things this season that only a few amount of players are doing and accomplishing. And some of these other Embiid numbers, Embiid is currently 23rd in the league in field goal percentage. He's been extremely efficient, averaging his 35 points per game. He's the only player right now that is top 5 in scoring, top 6 in rebounds, top 25 in assists per game, and top 10 in blocks. He's just been all around dominant. And to really put his season into perspective, here are the players to average 30 plus points per game, 10 plus rebounds per game, and 5 plus assists per game. There's only been a few players. Wilt Chamberlain did it twice. Giannis has done it twice, including this season. Oscar Robertson has done it twice. Elgin Baylor's done it once. Russell Westbrook's MVP season, and then Joel Embiid this season. One thing I want to point out is Oscar Robertson and Giannis both have done it 2 years in a row, which is pretty impressive. Giannis is having an incredible season as well this year, but I just think that Embiid has just been on a whole nother level and has just been completely dominant with how well he has just been scoring, rebounding, his facilitating this year. He's just been incredible, and also on the defensive end. But out of all those numbers, when you add another rebound per game and when you add another half assist per game, that list quickly gets shortened to just Oscar Robertson, Giannis's 2 seasons, including this year, and then Joel Embiid's season. And out of all those seasons, and out of those 3 players in those 4 seasons, Embiid has the highest points. And I mean, you could make it so this list is just Joel Embiid alone if you just up the points to over 31.5 per game, because his scoring this season has just been on another level. He's been one of the best mid-range scorers in the league, and I believe I saw a stat that said he's been one of the best mid-range scorers in NBA history this season. He's just been on another level, and he's just been insane. And the Sixers are currently 3rd in the East with him putting up numbers like this, as they are 25-6 with Embiid and then 3-7 without him. With all of these stats and streaks and just historic play that Embiid is doing this season, there's no doubt that he should be the favorite to win MVP this year. And all he has to do is play 65 games, because if he plays 65 games, it's his MVP. Right now, it's Embiid's MVP to lose. And I don't want to hear anything about games played if he only plays 65 games, because they made that a rule for a reason. So if they're gonna make that a rule and then count and then factor in games played, then why even make it a rule in the first place? That's all I got for this video. If y'all enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe to the channel for more.